Doctor Who is getting a budget increase. Let's talk about it. Ever since Power of the Doctor, we've had quite a lot of stuff going on within Doctor Who. Obviously, Russel has come in and we've had lots of announcements as to what the show is going to look like. We know stuff about the 60th, we know stuff about the Disney Plus deal and all the stuff that's going on with that. And now we have an almost update on the Disney Plus deal that shows us Doctor Who is going to become a big budget series. Overall, I have thoughts. But first of all, let's give you the context behind the deal. And bear in mind, a lot of these are strong reports. They haven't been officially confirmed, but they're also not just little leaks. It's looking very likely that this budget increase is happening. So on average, a Doctor Who episode has a budget of around 1 to 3 million. For BBC and just UK shows, that is a very good and healthy budget. But for example, big shows on Netflix, for example, and your HBO, your Game of Thrones, your Stranger Things, those shows are blowing Doctor Who out of the water with budget. But now, it looks like that's going to change with around a 10 million budget per episode and about 100 million given to each series of Doctor Who. Hearing this news just kind of blows my mind. By the way, we're not actually sure how much this money has come into the 60th, or whether this deal was made after that, so the 60th will be a bit lower budget, and then into Series 14 we'll get a higher budget, or if this deal is part of the 60th, we don't know. So yeah, this one is a bit of a strange one. And I think it is mostly positive. Obviously, Doctor Who on a bigger budget, with more money put into it. I mean, Doctor Who as a concept, you can do so many cool and weird and wacky things, so it's fantastic to see Doctor Who have lots of money put into it, right? I mean, I've talked about how the train sequence on Power of the Doctor, while cool, if that had some extra money to it, that could have been a much cooler sequence. So not only can sequences that have already been done in Doctor Who be made cooler, but it also just means generally you can do cooler things. Not even with just set pieces, CGI, making things look more real. That is a big part of this. I think some part of me is a little bit conflicted about this. The complete last thing I want is for Doctor Who to lose its charm. This is no criticism of Stranger Things or Game of Thrones. Those are the big examples that just keep coming into my head. This is genuinely no criticism on those shows, but they have this fantastic big budget feel. That is their style. And Doctor Who has always been known for, cramping itself into a small studio with bubble wrap monsters. And I know those are all classic kind of Doctor Who, but still, it's been known to have that British charm. Even in the modern era, no, it's less apparent than the cheapness of the classic era, but still, it feels not cheap, but quaint. I think for me, what it boils down to is using the extra money to really, enhance the sci-fi-ness of it. Because the idea of pulling off these bits of sequences and, making CGI look a bit better, that's fantastic. But we always have to remember where the show was, what the show came from. I don't want it to fully become just the next vertical for Disney. For me, as soon as it loses some of its quirky British charm, I think you lose what makes the show work. And hey, maybe I'm talking at this from a British perspective. Maybe other countries don't feel that that's such an important part of the show, and in fact it should become a big Stranger Thingsy type thing. Wow, I need to stop giving Stranger Things so much airtime in this vid. Let's just say that's where I'm slightly conflicted. I'm not sure if Doctor Who needs the money. Or in terms of, say, if we went from 1 to 3 mil an episode to 4 to 6 mil an episode. That sounds like a very healthy increase to help with some set pieces and some budget stuff. Whereas 10 million really does make it feel like they're going to go too big, and if they go too big, I do worry it loses its charm. Now, in terms of where the money is coming from, obviously it's looking likely that Disney, as well as, having it on their streaming service, they're not just paying for distribution rights, it seems. It seems like they're putting a chunk of money towards the production of the show. And that part, I can't see a downside to. Because one worry here might have been where if Disney's actively putting money towards the production, they might gain some creative control. We don't know this for definite yet, but it is very much looking like this is Russel's vision, but now with some extra money and it's just on Disney Plus round the world. Which is obviously a good thing, because I think Disney meddling is never going to end well for the show, so I feel like having it be Russel's vision, but giving him more freedom with that extra money can only be a good thing. Plus, if Disney is actively putting money in, it means they have faith in the property, and if they're putting money in, they'll give it promotion. And overall, my thoughts have always been is this should be a worldwide show. Such a magical idea and concept, and it's just so fantastic that yes, I want to see it be popular around the world. But I think the conclusion I've come to is that unfortunately, if we have to kind of like take away some of the British charm from the show to make it more of this worldwide phenomenon, I'm okay with it. Doctor Who as a concept that if done well should be entertainment for all, and this moves towards that. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your opinions in the comments below. You want to see what I think the future of Doctor Who is in terms of all of the other Disney Plus stuff, in terms of RTD, in terms of Shooty, in terms of David. You can watch that video there. I promise you, it's not too bad.